but we're going to work through all the muscles and the structures I think predominantly stop hip extension. What we're doing is this movement where the hips go back and then go forward, but they stop and they go back and they go back and they go forward, but they don't go forward far enough and they bounce back. So we're going to stop it there-ish. And what we're going to do is talk about first the muscles that stop it. So one of the things is going to be for sure these right abs. What happens is these abs right here are not going to let go. And if those abs don't let go, it's a little paradoxical, but if we can get these abs to let go and kind of release, then that actually allows our rib cage and our pelvis to kind of roll forward. It's a weird one, but you actually want to let go of your abs. The next thing kind of comes down to the glutes, the glute max here, right? This guy, we all know about this guy. What he does, and I know you know this, but let's just say the glutes connect from the pelvis and they go down to the back of the femur. And when they get down to the back of the femur, they pull the back of the femur up and back, right? So they would give you hip extension. If they do not have hip extension, then they don't pull it back or the hips don't go forward. So either femur is not going back or hips are going forward. We're going to talk about at the very end of that. We don't know which one it is. Is the femur not being able to be pulled back, or is the pelvis not actually being able to go forward? That is hip extension. It's actually femoral extension in relation to a pelvis. We're going to get more to that in a second. But let's talk about the other muscles. So the other one was anterior glute med, which is a small one that people often forget about, kind of in the front here. But it would also kind of pull the head of this femur kind of forward onto this pelvis. It's a nifty little muscle there, often forgot about. One of the things, if the glutes are not working so hot, that often means that the groin muscles here are actually kind of basically pulling this femur forward this way, right? So they're kind of keeping it down and not allowing the glutes to pull backwards. You would need to kind of release it. And I can kind of see there's a line here, basically. Also, you can see that knees kind of popping up. So clearly there's a big tug of war going on between the glutes and the adductors there. If the adductors are the same, then you can probably wrap around to the hamstrings. These right hamstrings connecting back to this pelvis, they also might not be, they might be trying to engage and pull that femur back or that pelvis forward. Something else to consider. Structures. What structure? So this is a little bit more of for the clinically minded of you out there, but to think about, we'll start kind of here at the top, left thoracic rotation. So we need to get back around this way, get back around this way. And then you can see the arms are kind of fighting. This one's kind of staying. It's almost internally rotating there, but we're not able to easily kind of thoracic rotate back into the left. One of the reasons why I kind of listed it further down here, what's wrong with the right side? That usually means this right side is side bent, right? And kind of a little bit more extended there, which means the right lats could be pretty involved. Again, these abs kind of pulling you down and back are not allowing you to go out that way, right? What is next is the pelvis and femurs. We're already kind of talking about this, but let's just say we've got this left femur here. Then you've got this pelvis trying to move over that femur. So right now, this left femur right here is still. And then what happens is, oh, it's not too still enough, but that pelvis is supposed to roll over. So there'll be a part where the left leg stops and the pelvis should keep going. So one of the problems is there's not enough of a differentiation of that pelvis going forward or that left leg going back, which could be a problem. But since this is too passive, this is going to be more of a pelvis going over a femur problem. Now that's only for this left hip, right? For this right guy, it seems that this pelvis here needs to go forward. There's something stopping it going forward though. And so it's not as if this femur needs to go back more. And obviously it does, but I'm saying in relation to, say, the rest of the body, right? You're seeing these kind of patterns. The body kind of twists around. So if this is going forward, it seems like this is pushing forward, but it seems like this pelvis on the right does not want to go forward. And so if that pelvis can't go forward, this femur cannot go backwards. And you get this mushed up action in here. So it's a tricky thing to go one over the other, but you have to consider both of those to get full hip extension. And this is an active hip extension as well. But again, let's go over them. We got right abs, we got glute max, we got the groin muscles pulling too tight, glute muscles pulling too weak, hamstrings probably tighten on as well. Abs are on, we need to let those abs go. We need to push the pelvis forward, let the right hip flexor go. We need a thoracic rotate this way, perhaps let the right lats go, let the right abs go, activate the glute, possibly loosen up an anterior hip capsule here, another possibility, and then we can get some lovely movement. But we don't have that. What we have is some bad hip extension. I hope you all found this interesting. I sure didn't. Tune in next time. Thanks.